I couldn't make a sound, and I couldn't get up. I thought, I'm going to die. I'm going to suffocate. In that moment, I made a desperate deal with God. I'm going to pray. But as my mind was fading, I could only think of one last word to pray. Help. Instantly, all the pain was gone, and I stood up. I looked around, expecting relief, thinking, God has healed me. Then I looked down at the floor. There was my body lying lifeless. I'm not healed. I'm dead. Right through the windows of my living room, two creatures entered. Their eyes were solid yellow, glowing with an eerie, unnatural light. When they opened their mouths, I saw jagged white fangs and a bright red tongue. Their presence exuded malevolence, and in their hands, they each held a set of manacles, one for my hands, one for my feet. They were coming straight toward me, laughing. We've come to take you to hell. I backed away in terror. This isn't happening. This isn't real. I'm a Christian. I'm saved. You can't take me to hell. I screamed. They laughed at me. They thought it was hilarious. You think you're saved? One of them sneered. You belong to us. Before I could react, a rush of darkness engulfed me. I was pulled violently from my living room. My spirit dragged through a void colder and more terrifying than I had ever imagined. The creatures were beside me. Their laughter now mingled with the agonized screams of countless souls echoing from the abyss ahead. Then, suddenly, the darkness split open, revealing a landscape of horror. The air was thick with the scent of burning flesh and sulfur. I saw towering flames, chasms of boiling lava, and grotesque figures writhing in torment. Souls, countless souls, were there, their hollow eyes filled with eternal regret. Some reached out, clawing at the air as if begging for mercy that would never come. Others wailed in despair, their bodies consumed in a fire that did not burn them away but prolonged their agony. This is hell. I tried to turn away, to run, but the creatures flanking me held me fast. Their grip was like steel, their claws pressing into my arms. You denied him, they whispered in unison, their voices slithering into my ears like venom. I shook my head. No, I didn't. I believed in God. I tried to be a good person, but suddenly, as if my very soul was being read aloud, my life unfolded before me. Every moment, every choice, every sin I had dismissed as insignificant stood bare before me. I saw myself ignoring God's voice when He called. I saw the times I had chosen my desires over His commands. I had convinced myself that being good was enough, that I didn't need to surrender fully to Jesus. The truth hit me like a crushing weight. I had never truly accepted Him as my Lord. The demons yanked me forward, dragging me toward a massive pit where others were being thrown, their screams piercing the air like a never-ending nightmare. The ground beneath me burned with a searing heat that I could feel even though I had no body. I was at the edge now. Terror unlike anything I had ever known consumed me. Jesus, please, save me. I cried out. Everything stopped. The demons hissed, recoiling as if an unseen force had struck them. The darkness trembled, and suddenly, a brilliant light split through the abyss. It was more than just light. It was a force, a presence that radiated purity, love, and absolute authority. From within that light, a figure stepped forward. Jesus. His presence was overwhelming. His gaze, filled with sorrow and love, pierced through me. I fell to my knees, trembling. "Lord, I'm sorry," I sobbed. "I didn't know. I was blind. Please, forgive me." He extended his hand toward me. "I have always been here, waiting." The demons shrieked in fury. "He's ours," they protested, their forms twisting as if in agony. Jesus looked at them, and with a single word, "Go," they vanished, their screams swallowed by the void. I was lifted from the edge of hell, cradled in a warmth I had never known. I wept. I had been seconds away from eternal separation from God, not because He had abandoned me, but because I had never truly given my heart to Him. Jesus spoke, His voice both gentle and firm. "You were deceived. Many are. They believe that being good is enough, that knowing of me is the same as knowing me. But salvation is not through works. It is through faith in me. Surrender." I understood. My life had been filled with religious debates, justifications, and half-beliefs, but I had never truly known Him. I had never given Him my life. I looked into His eyes, and in that moment I knew. I never wanted to be separated from Him again. "Lord, I am yours. Fully, completely. Take my life." A warmth like fire filled my soul. Love unlike anything I had ever felt surrounded me. And then, a jolt. Pain shot through my body. My lungs burned as I gasped for air. My eyes flew open, and I was back in my living room, sprawled on the floor. I was alive. Tears streamed down my face. I had been given a second chance. I knew what I had to do. From that moment on, my life was no longer my own. I had seen the truth, the horror of separation from God, the deceit that so many fall into. I could not stay silent. I gave my life fully to Jesus, seeking Him with everything I had. I surrendered my pride, my doubts, my excuses, and for the first time in my life, I felt truly free. My near-death experience changed everything. It opened my eyes to the reality of hell, the mercy of Jesus, and the urgency of salvation. I had been spared, but I knew many would not be, because they, like me, thought they were good enough. But good is not salvation. Jesus is salvation. If you are reading this, know that He is calling you. He has always been calling you. Do not wait until it's too late.